So the big question that, a lot of people have to ask this question is, what is a mecha anime series? Most of you already know, but basically what it boils down to is giant robots and teenage pilots. Except for one. There was a grown-ass man one, and we'll get to that in a little bit second. So I want to discuss with you all 5 mecha animes that were game changers in the freaking genre series, man. Let's go ahead and start with number 5. And number 5 has got to be, it's a classic, and we got to respect its OG-ness, that I think it just kind of set the tone for this genre, and that is Mobile Suit Gundam. And there was a spin-off of a ton of those freaking series. Shouldn't be that many. I mean, oh my goodness. Dang, God dog. Look at the okay. How many spin-offs? God dog. King of jeez, little TV show, movies. God dog. That's a lot. I mean, the list goes on. There was a war between Zion and the Earth Federation, and basically Gundam pilot number something basically was a teenage pilot, and so it was a war that they were basically fighting, and there were several of these different mobile suits, all these different Gundams, and it was pretty freaking lit in my opinion. So again, it's a classic, and again, it has a ton of spin-offs, but I think that set the tone for the mecha anime genre. So that's just my opinion. All right, number 4, Eureka 7 to me. Now you're like, what, Eureka 7? Listen, just hear me out. Eureka 7. So basically, Eureka 7 is about a boy named Ren Thurston who joins an outlaw group, Gecko State, right? And they are pilots of mecha robots. And Ritten falls in love with a girl, or is infatuated and falls in love with a girl named Eureka, who I think is a Corallian. I think that's how they say it. And they just try to understand the relationship between the two. Now again, that's like far-fetched out there. Like, that's alien, human, mixture, that type of stuff. But it has giant mechas in it. So I mean, it's like, and even with that, yeah, there were some teenage pilots, and I think most of them were teenage pilots the way they were acting. But there was a grown man. There was a couple grown people in that series that were pilots and stuff like that. So that's why I said that we're gonna get to those genres that had some grown adult pilots, right? And so that is the Eureka 7. That's number 4. All right, so number 3 to me has got to be Gurren Lagann. Now this takes place in a time on Earth where the Spiral King has forced humans to live underground as slaves, as people that are basically nobodies. And 2 people decided to challenge that and finally make their way to the surface and start fighting those enemies of the Spiral King. And they use Lagans, which are basically mechas. And so I'm just like, dang, man. And there was a lot of comedy, and I know I haven't talked about any of the comedy and stuff like that in the other series, but to me, this one, mixing the fusion of just the different mechas that can fuse together and just spin apart, or add additional, and just make a whole mega, just like a mega mecha. And that mug is freaking dope in my opinion. And so that series to me set the tone for a lot of things. And there was some hidden messages in there, like drill to the heavens, reach for the top, reach for the sky. So to me, that was number 3. Now number 2, some of y'all gonna be like, what? Has got to be Evangelion, or Eva. Now this is where you mix mecha with psychology, and it's just like, wow. You want to talk about the Human Instrumentality Project? Now there is some truth in that. And And honestly, the psychology behind each character, and so basically it's about Shinji, who basically comes to an area where there's a war between Nerve and the Angels, and it comes from the story is based off cosmology, indigenous stories based in Japan, and so that's kind of the interesting part about that, is that it's mixing that type of folklore, and they're putting it in mechas, and then mechas versus the angels, and the angels are fighting the mechas, and so it's just like, and then there's so much psychology behind each personal character. It's just like, dang. So all I can say is Human Instrumentality Project, and congratulations. It starts off very confusing, and it ends up being very confusing. You don't even know why you're watching it. Now, number one to me has got to be, and again, these are just my personal impacts, has got to be Big O. You're like, what? Big O? Big O is basically about Roger Smith, who's a negotiator, and basically is assisting Dorothy Wright to find, her creator and stuff like that. And then on top of that, they're fighting other, what they would call big duos or big O's in the area, that from people who have lost their memories, but they're able to control them. And it's just like, whoa, that is kind of actually freaking cool. But then they're saying that they were created, the people that live in the Paradigm City that have lost their memories, they're saying that they're nothing but tomatoes with barcodes. And it's just like, wow, I'm taken back by that. But the action is still lit. It's pretty cool. And again, it just kind of makes you ask the question about lost memories and forgotten memories. Something so simple as, do you remember how you came to this earth, as far as like when you were born? Some people remember that experience and some people don't. So there's like all these forgotten memories, and then there's memories that are just stored in our brain that are never forgotten, but they're just locked up in our subconscious mind, and we don't necessarily remember all of them. And so to me, that whole thing, and just combining it with the action, the memories, the paradigm shift, and just the paradigm structure, and then the whole, people were created in barcode and lost memories and stuff like that of the past. To me, that was freaking dope. And in my opinion, these were the 5 mecha animes that were game changers in the industry. Let me know if you agree with me or disagree. We can talk about this in the comments below. If you're looking for some of the most amazing content, Mess My Comics in the building can get you what you need. Be sure to like, subscribe for more content from us. Also, go watch Who Was Better for Casca while you're on this channel. You know you want to.